Hi, are you going through your spiritual awakening? Very exciting, but also a little bit scary. I know. But you're not alone though, because the Great Mass Awakening means that we are all collectively experiencing spiritual upgrades and we're all collectively being awakened from our higher selves. Naturally, some people are called to lead, and others are called to be a little bit more conscious when it comes to showing up for themselves and for the people that they love. Because Earth is a game and a school. And what we refer to as the game is what you might know as the Matrix, where the existing structures in life are not really focused on helping you be a better human being. They are designed to keep you in certain paths where you support the economy, even if the economy does not support you in your spiritual growth. So when you start to think and live your life a little bit more in alignment with the school of life or the spiritual stuff, the spiritual side of life, you start to create change as a consciously living human being that understands the impact of their decisions, their choices, and how they can use their knowledge, their gifts, their skills to create positive change on earth. Because we each have a soul purpose, and it is only through awakening to that purpose that we can step into our most authentic self and fulfill what we've come here to accomplish, our soul purpose. So let's look into the three objectives that a spiritual awakening has for you. Stella, writer and light worker, here to inspire positive change. The three objectives of a spiritual awakening. Now, if you've just started your spiritual awakening, you might be unsure as to what is happening. You might be unsure as to what is the truth. Who are you? Because in the process of living, you have picked up a lot of beliefs from everyone around you, from the educational system, from your own community, from society, from your parents, from your siblings. Everyone has projected onto you their understanding, which they have picked up from projections from other people. So it's this ripple effect of people just kind of reflecting back to one another what they've learned from somebody. And unless the person that teaches you how to live has already done the inner work of inner child healing and shadow work, there are a lot of limiting beliefs that get passed on to you. There are a lot of limitations in your own belief system that you keep living your life through that lens where you have a lack mindset, a victim mindset, and these are kind of coping strategies for you to survive, essentially. And your spiritual awakening is going to remind you that there's so much more potential in you, but it's also going to trigger you a little bit because the truth about what is happening in our life collectively as a society, but also in your life, how people might have crossed your boundaries or people might have taken your kindness for granted for many years and used your skills without actually giving you anything in return. That might trigger you a little bit. That might change the way that you see the people around you. Don't worry. These are all lessons. You are now part of the school of life and you are consciously a student. So you can see how each of these lessons is, a different classroom. And the more that you complete these lessons, the more you're going to move on from one classroom to the next one. And when life presents you with an opportunity for you to repeat the same class, repeat the same lesson, you'll be like, do you know what? I already learned that lesson. I'm not going back to that classroom. What are the three objectives of a spiritual awakening? The first one is self-discovery, re-examining who you are, because everything starts with you. So in the process of self-discovery, you're going to start to remove all the layers, all the titles, the adjectives, the labels that society has placed onto you that don't reflect who you actually are authentically. And you're going to start to add nuance. You're going to start creating nuance. You're going to write down a list. You're going to create your own vision board. You're going to re-evaluate your whole life, re-examine your values, your priorities, and create nuance that match your vision for who you want to be. because on some level, you already are them. You just aren't living in alignment with them, whether it's values, whether it's a job title, whether you envision yourself as a successful writer, but you aren't quite there yet. That means a future version of you probably is, or there's a timeline where that version of you exists. So now it's up to you to change your identity, starting with how you perceive yourself, because that's how you're going to present yourself to the world. So the first step, the first objective of a spiritual awakening is for you to go through this self-discovery journey, to re-examine who you are and understand what makes you authentically you, what makes you uniquely you, because there is only one of you. But until you do the inner work, I'm not saying unless, because at some point all of us go through this, until you do the inner work, you carry these beliefs that other people have placed onto you, these expectations that other people have placed onto you. So you're not really living to the fullest of your potential. You're not really living in the most authentic way. So the first objective is to understand who you are and who you want to be so that you can portray that. The second objective is to understand the world around you. So this is where you start to question things. This is where you start to question people. This is where you start to discover the truth. This is the process of your spiritual awakening, where you're going to start researching a lot of different topics. You're going to start to see through the illusions, see through the corruptions, and try to figure out how to stay sane amidst all the lies. But this will also be an opportunity for you to understand how you can get into alignment with a version of yourself that is more authentic, that is healthier, so that you can become a highly functioning, healthy human being that can contribute to changing the world more positively. Because once again, if you look around, you're going to see a lot of corruption. You're going to see a lot of illusions, a lot of lies, a lot of unrealistic beauty standards, and a lot of marketing campaigns that are glamorizing things, products, services that are not healthy for you. So when you go through a spiritual awakening, this is usually a call for you to start living more consciously, but also in a healthier way. Your well-being becomes at the heart of your existence, because everything starts with you. And when you want to create positive change, when you want to lead with love and lead with empathy, you need to be able to fill your own cup, to give love to yourself so that you can function in a balanced way. And the second step, the second objective of your spiritual awakening is very important, because what you discover in the self-discovery journey will need to be applied in the second step of becoming you. Understanding yourself without becoming yourself is only going to delay your rise to your higher purpose, to your higher calling, to your true purpose, because you came here to accomplish something, and that is the final step. That is the purpose. But in order for you to go to the third objective, to the third step, the first step is understanding who you are, removing all these labels that aren't you. The second step is getting your daily routine in alignment with who you are. Because if you've seen your potential, if you've recognized your potential to be a writer, but you're not showing up daily to write, if you've seen your potential to be a graphic designer, to create art, but you're not showing up daily to create art, to advance your skills, you're not really becoming you. You are remaining in a state of delusion in some ways, because you know this is me. But in order for you to truly become that, you need to apply actions. Everyone has unlimited potential in them. It's the potential that you manage to channel in the world. That's how you become aligned with your higher self. That's how you are able to step into your purpose. So the third objective and the final objective, which is very important into kind of locking that timeline forward for you, is discovering your soul purpose. This is the part of the journey I like to call authentic alignment. You've discovered what makes you authentically you. You've taken the time to integrate that information and apply it so that you are now waking up in the morning and you know by default, I have this habit that is healthy. I know I need to do this, which is healthy. It's aligned with who I am. I know that when a choice comes, I will know what decision to take because it's going to be aligned with my higher self, with my higher purpose, with my highest good. So the third objective, as to discovering your soul purpose, kind of comes naturally. Once you've done the work, once you've gone through the first two objectives, the third objective really is about making the decision to answer the call of the universe. Because when you get awakened, you will be presented with a lot of opportunities for research, for understanding, for taking the time to heal, for taking the time to question things and meet with people, whether it's online, whether it's in person, and kind of discuss these ideas, discuss the truth. But the third objective and the third step of this journey is entirely up to you, because the universe will give you the call and it's up to you to decide to say yes or no. And if you've done the work, saying yes will be the easiest choice, even if it comes with certain sacrifices, because in order for you to serve being yourself, which is the ultimate goal of a spiritual awakening, to get you prepared to step into your highest timeline, into releasing the most of your potential, when you say yes to creating positive change on a societal level and being that example, positive example that maybe you didn't grow up with, there will come a point where you have to say goodbye to certain connections, to certain people, to certain habits, to certain patterns that are bringing you down, that are just not advancing your growth. Because the spiritual awakening and the spiritual ascension process is really this commitment to being a better, healthier, more positive, more balanced, more aligned, more enlightened being. And this is a lifelong commitment. Once you embark on this journey, there is no turning back. And yes, you might get tired. Take a day off, take a week off, take a break. It's okay. But this is a lifelong pursuit, lifelong commitment of bettering yourself. And the impact that you're going to make by investing in your growth daily is going to be tremendous. This is the kind of impact that has a ripple effect for generations to come. And this is the kind of positive impact. This is the what we like to talk about, like to call generational wealth and generational blessings to come. Because this is not like the karma that comes from, somebody breaking the universal laws, or somebody going against the actual laws on earth and kind of creating that karmic effect for generations to heal that. This is the opposite. This is generating dharma, which is the positive luck, the positivity running down the generations to come, because it's positivity uplifts spirits. So imagine you created a society that manages to create a whole manages to create differences in a particular industry, differences that change the industry for the better. This is not just you leading by example among your friends, in your family. No, this is you changing the structure in a system that is a little bit corrupted, that is a little bit broken, that is a little bit dysfunctional. And every single person that then gets onboarded as part of that system is positively influenced because you helped change that system. So these are the three objectives of a spiritual awakening. This call to action that the universe is going to present to you, if you are brave enough, but also excited to embark on this journey, is going to be tremendously fulfilling. Doing the inner work is not easy, but it's very liberating, because you get to show the world your true, authentic self. And it is quite liberating to be able to just wake up and serve the world by being yourself. But in order to get to that point, you need to remove all that isn't you. And that is the process of the three steps, or the three objectives of the spiritual awakening. Examine yourself, examine the world, examine your purpose. Understand that every single experience that you've gone through in your life has served its purpose as well. It has been a teaching moment. It has been a life lesson. Every single person that you've met, every single interaction, these have been little lessons, one by one, teaching you, preparing you for this moment of you stepping into your purpose and creating positive change in the world, being yourself. Hope you found this useful. And if you'd like to get started on your self-growth journey and get ahead of your spiritual awakening, check out these seven journals I created to help you with your self-growth. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or if you need any support during your spiritual awakening, leave a comment, send me a message, and I'll get back to you. Thank you for watching.